Mayad nga agahon. Hope everyone is having a good day wherever you are. I'm having my morning coffee, just getting my day started here in Diniwid, near Diniwid Beach in Boracay Island in the Philippines. Raining today, but light rain, light rain. It's nothing like, I got another comment. On my phone, like the comment pops, like it notifies me on our YouTube channel. So it tells me that I have a comment that I have to reply to. Hey, Gavin P., my good friend in Australia. All right, good morning, my brother. Good morning, my brother. Just having my morning cup of coffee, my Copico Blanca. Copico Blanca. It's like a creamy coffee here. 3-in-1 coffee. There's a hot pot in the Airbnb here. I heat water and then I do a quick cup of coffee. Probably the only coffee I'll drink today, unless I walk later to a 7-Eleven, which is not bad. It's about a 10-minute walk uphill. That's the only thing. It's like all uphill going to a city mall, Boracay, to get my French vanilla brewed coffee. But it's the 7-Eleven is open 24 hours, so anytime I want coffee, I can go up there. I did notice that the coffee is like 68 pesos here in Boracay. The same cup, exact same cup of coffee, large French vanilla, 57 in Numancia where I live. So everything is just a higher price here in Boracay. I would say anything you buy here compared to the mainland, you're gonna pay at least 15 to 20% on anything. It could be a banana, it could be a mango, because everything has to be shipped here to the island. So that's for the cost of shipping it here. Furry and non-furry babies, how are you? Pennsylvania, all right. I never made it to Pennsylvania, but I have friends that Pittsburgh. I know my friend Virene. She used to be from Pittsburgh, but now she lives, I think, in Atlanta. I know my friend Darren. He's from Pennsylvania. Darren, I always have to check with my friend Darren. I know he's in but in Lapu-Lapu area, Cebu. There's an island there. I keep forgetting the name of that island, but he lives on the island now. But he also has a house. He hasn't given up his house in Pennsylvania, but I think Darren's been here in the Philippines 2 years now. But he was talking about visiting Pennsylvania. That's why I said, "Oh, Pennsylvania! I know people in Pennsylvania." Thank you for joining the live stream this morning. Happy Saturday from Australia. All right. Oh yeah. I don't even, I lose track of days, Gavin P. It's like, especially now that I'm doing the morning coffee with Ginno in the morning, it's like all the days just seem to be the same. It's like Friday, Saturday, it doesn't really matter here in Boracay, but today, it's like light rain. I did check on the Pag-asa. Pag-asa is the weather channel here in the Philippines. It's only a low pressure area in like the Bicol region, like the eastern Visayas. And that's where most tropical storm, typhoons, most of those happen. That's usually like the trajectory. We always just get rain here. We never get direct hit by typhoon in western Visayas, because like I said before, people in eastern Visayas like Samar, Leyte, that's kind of like typhoon alley there. It seems like all like the typhoon, they get at least 10 out of the 20 that pass through the Philippines every year. They get at least 10 that pass through that area. And then Bicol's another region in Luzon that just gets hit with so many so many typhoons, and then northern Luzon. But by the time it hits eastern Visayas, and then it goes through, it weakens, and then if it goes through central Visayas is like Cebu, Bohol, Dumaguete. A friend of mine had mentioned Dumaguete is central part of Visayas. It weakens some more. So by the time it hits us here in Western Visayas, it's like not even anything by the time it hits us. But we get the outer bands, but right now there is no typhoon in the Philippine area of responsibility. We still haven't had our first typhoon. Like typhoon is like a hurricane in Florida. We still do not have any typhoon for this year, for 2025. This was going to be supposed to be maybe the first. They were actually going to name it Auring. They already have a name. I guess they're excited for the typhoons, to come to the Philippines. They go with alphabetical letters. The first one will be Auring, and then the second one they'll have that starts with a B, but it's supposed to be like Auring, Auring. But I guess they'll use the name, if ever we get that. But they are predicting like this June. They're predicting two typhoon tropical storm that's gonna come into the Philippine area of responsibility. But so far, no typhoon in the Philippines for 2025. That Medicare news is really exciting. Oh, I've been getting. I put it on my Facebook. I put it on my YouTube community, and then I did the video. I have to answer a lot of people, and very exciting. I have to agree, very exciting. If you read the article, it's like I just know, like here in the Philippines, I was doing more research about it. There are 35,000 Americans here in the Philippines collecting their Medicare here in the Philippines. Like actually getting their Medicare or Social Security, Social Security. They're collecting their Social Security here, and it's going to a Philippine bank. There's like 35,000 of those. But I know there's a lot of people here, like my friend Ruben, that he gets his check, his Social Security check in America, but he's here. He's Medicare age already. So what Ruben does, he goes back to the U.S. I guess there's a requirement for Medicare to be in the United States. So he has to like keep going back and forth the Philippines, and he has a place in San Diego. So it costs him money. That costs money to fly back and forth to the U.S. just to keep up with your Medicare. So I'm sure Ruben, if that gets approved here in the Philippines, he won't have any reason to go back to San Diego to keep up with his Medicare. So that to me, that's great news. And then the more I think about it, the more discussion I have with people. To me, it just makes it's a win-win for both countries, and not just the Philippines, for other countries on the list, like the allies of the United States, because here in the Philippines, medical procedures here are 40 to 80% cheaper than in America, and I know this on hand because my last job in Arizona, I was a risk management coordinator for 4 hospitals in Tucson, Arizona, where we were a health network, and my job was like medical insurance, malpractice insurance for docs, pretty much all the insurance. The hospital, you're amazed. In the hospital, we had like general liability insurance. If you slip and fall in the hospital, we got the malpractice insurance. That's the biggest one, malpractice, because and then the helicopter insurance, our vehicle insurance, our ambulance insurance. There's just so much money spent on insurance and malpractice in the United States. So it bumps up the cost. Like I did a Google AI thing, and it says like procedures here in the Philippines, the same medical procedure, that's like a heart bypass surgery. in the United States costs about $100,000 at least, in that range. In the Philippines, it's $17,000 to $19,000 for the same procedure. And I know people are like, oh, but I'm getting better medical care in the United States. Believe me, it's like we have hospitals here in the Philippines that I know because I've worked in hospitals 27 years. My last job in Arizona, we got hospitals here better than in Arizona. It's like St. Luke's Medical Center in BGC, Makati Medical. It's like these are top-notch hospitals. The doctors that work there are like educated in the United States, maintain license in the United States. So, people just like I know they go to the province and they see like these small hospitals, but that's your choice. I got into a comment with another person. I mean, good friend of mine. He's on our channel, and I was just telling him, it's like, it would, you hear the horror stories there in the Philippines about people not ambulance not getting to them, but that's your choice if you live in a remote province in the Philippines. Like I said, there's like hospitals in Cebu, in Manila, Iloilo City. There's good hospitals here. So if you choose to live in a remote place here in the Philippines, that's your choice. I was telling him that would be the same choice you would choose if you live in the United States. There's people that live out in the mountains in the United States, like the Appalachian Mountain, out in the boonies, away from, if they need a bypass surgery, it takes them hours to get to the place, if they have a medical emergency. It's no different, I always tell people before coming to the Philippines, that has to be a big consideration when you plan to retire in the Philippines is your medical care. And to me, it's like, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't do the research about medical care here. And unfortunately, there are some people that do that. They come retire here in the Philippines and then they have no clue the area where they're retiring, what the medical situation is. They don't even check the local hospital. They wait for an emergency and then find out. I mean, that's like the worst time to find out, what medical service, that would be the worst time to find out, ooh, there's no MRI in this hospital, or I have to go drive 3-4 hours for an MRI machine. Man, that is not the time to find out, the equipment in the hospital. You need to do your due diligence. I always tell people, do your due diligence, especially with medical care. Check out the hospitals where you plan on retiring. When you do your recon of the Philippines, make the hospitals a medical part of your recon. I call it recon because I did that. Before I retired here in 2011, I came here to the Philippines in 2010, a year before. And I call it recon. It's like I went to like several places. I went to Baguio, I went to Tagaytay, I went to Boracay, Subic. I just went to the place, check out the area, stayed there for 4 or 5 days, a week, and then look at the hospital situation. Man, you're doing your disservice if you don't do that. It's like, to me, that is so important, especially as we get older. It's like medical care is a priority. But like furry and non-furry babies was saying, man, that's just great news. That's why I said it's like, it's a win-win situation for both countries. And my friend Edgar commented to me this morning, it's like, one of the other things that I know is a lot, cheaper here in the Philippines. It's easy to hire someone here as a live-in caregiver. I mean, the person don't have to be medically trained, maybe just CPR or something, but somebody to stay with you. You can hire somebody like that here in the Philippines. You can get a 2-bedroom apartment, make the 1-bedroom into your caregiver's place. That way you're not alone, because that was what Edgar was saying, and I'm sure that happens in the United States where, you're a senior, you're on Medicare, you have your apartment and you're by yourself in your home, nobody to assist you to go to the bathroom. I mean, that's just part of aging. And many people I know, assisted living is not even in the picture in the United States because they're so expensive. I have a cousin that runs and owns assisted living in Houston, Texas, and I know they do not charge cheap. Yeah, people on Social Security alone, it'd be a struggle to afford like the private assisted living. I mean, you might be able to afford like a nursing home, but there's horror stories with that. And I know many people. If I had to choose whether I have to go into a nursing home or whether I can stay in my home with a live-in caregiver, I'm choosing live-in caregiving and caregiver in a heartbeat. But I'm hoping and praying because I know many people here in the Philippines, including my friends, that are here on Medicare already. One friend of mine told me, "Man, that's a game changer for me, bro." He goes like, "Man, I don't have to fly to the U.S. anymore if I have to get medical care." Cheap copy, better than expensive. Hey, I know, right, Edgar? Hey, man, I'm just mentioning you, man, on the comment because I saw your comment regarding that being alone in the United States when you get older. It's just unfortunate. But here, that's why I think a lot of retirees, a lot of older people, they come here if they're in decent health still. They just want to live out their days where they can walk around with other older elderly gentlemen. They can still go to the bar. They can still, play billiards. My friend Ruben, he plays billiards. It's like you're still active. You're still, you feel like, you have a life left. In the fourth quarter of our life, we just want to enjoy it. You don't want to be alone in an apartment in the U.S. Gavin P, have you found a spot for your pandesal? Oh, Gavin P, I haven't found pandesal, man. I've found a couple of bakeries, but their pandesal didn't look fresh. There was on display on that glass. So, man, I'm like, but I have a muffin. I got a blueberry muffin here. I got it here on the baker here. But there are bakeries, but the bakeries, they just, it's not the hot of the oven, so I'm still on the lookout. I'm still on the lookout for pandesal. But there's plenty of like pandicoco. I ate pandicoco, and now I'm eating a blueberry muffin. So I'm having something with my coffee. It's not like I can't find anything. But no joy on my pandesal. I can't find my malunggay pandesal in Boracay. If anyone here listening, if anybody knows a malunggay cheese pandesal in Boracay, let me know. Because here in Boracay, I'm sure they don't let them. In mainland Aklan, we have those rolling bakery in the tricycle, where the oven's in the middle, the display, they cook the pandesal, they put in the display. I mean, they can't even like keep up, with people. They ride the motorcycles, and then my usual Joni's malunggay pandesal in Numancia, so that'll be the first thing I buy when I get back to Numancia is my Joni's malunggay pandesal. Glenn and Vilma. Hey, Glenn and Vilma, good morning. You are paying tourist prices, but a great place to do it. Enjoy. Yeah, it's like, but, Dazzle and I, we know how to budget, even here in Boracay, our Airbnb, it's like this Airbnb runs at 20,000 pesos. So about $350 for the whole month, Wi-Fi included, and then the carinderias on the way to City Mall, that's where we've been getting our lunch. The carinderia will cost Dazzle and I each, like maybe 75 pesos for lunch. So 150 for both of us. That's about $3 for lunch for the both of us. We no places in Boracay, but we do also treat ourselves, and we've been blessed because we got subscribers that like, hey, Ginno, get you and Dazzle dinner tonight. So it's been so nice. It's like Olson's one. Thank you, Olson. We enjoyed. We went to Mooney Mooney last night, and I had two beef tacos. Man, those tacos were good. I mean, they're not, as good as the tacos that I've had in the U.S. Nothing like Tex-Mex or anything. But the taco shell, I like the crispy. Usually when they have tacos here in the Philippines, they'll call it tacos, but it's the soft taco, kind of bread. I prefer the crunchy corn tacos, but this taco shell, they're homemade at the Mooney Mooney restaurant on White Beach because it's not made of corn, not made of masa. It's like, but it was nice. It was crunchy, flaky when I bit into it. Ground beef. They had ground beef. A lot of cheese. I like a lot of, and it's a melted cheese. Their pico de gallo. They made their own pico de gallo. Was okay. I've had better, but their salsa. It wasn't the best salsa. To me, it was like really on fire hot. It was almost like ghost pepper hot. But I still enjoyed the taco because here in the Philippines, it's just they just don't do Mexican well here. Tacos, nachos, burritos. You will not get the same level like in Arizona Mexican food or California Mexican food or Texas or Tex-Mex. But it has to do. For me, I would rate it like the one I ate last night. I would rate it a 7. I would have rated a 7. I mean, I would eat it again. I even told Olson, I recommend that beef taco just because it's hard to find good tacos here, like hard shell tacos. And then Daniel, the other day, he sent us money for dinner too. So Dazzle and I were able to like eat the Hakata, the Japanese. So we're just blessed, we got. That's why part of the reason I like doing YouTube is like we've met so many friends. Like on this trip already, EJ, he's from Florida. EJ is doing a basketball clinic, basketball camp here, and then Herm, from Atlanta, met them for the first time, and EJ and his wife told me they've been watching our channel for 2 years, so they treated us to dinner. So to us, just like every time Dazzle and I like meet people, people are just so nice, and that's why, it encourages me to keep the channel going. Tanya, all right, Tanya G. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, RG, all right, from the Ozarks, man. I love that show, the Ozarks. That was like my favorite show, one of my favorite show. Good morning. Oh, it's raining now. I can see it's getting it's hitting the metal roof here, so I can hear. It's nice and cool here now. Usually, like even in the morning, like right now, it's like 5:38. Before, it's a little warm. It's not like sweat. I don't sweat, but it was warm. But now it's like nice and cool. That's why I don't mind coming to Boracay when it's like June, July, rainy season, because we still get like sunny. Like yesterday was. Most of the day was sunny. It started sprinkling like after dinner, after we came out of Mooney Mooney. We always carry an umbrella. I had my rain jacket just because I was prepared for it. But during the day, it was sunny. I actually was wearing my jacket during the day. I had to take it off because when we went to City Mall Boracay, it was warm. And when we went to City Mall Boracay, I filmed it. There was many people there playing pickleball. I used to be a tennis player, so I haven't played tennis in a while, but looks like pickleball I can handle because it's a smaller court, and it's like foreigners playing in there. I filmed it, so I'll make a video out of that pickleball. They charge per hour. They charge it per hour. I think it was 300 pesos per hour. So that's about $5.50. per hour. I mean, nice court indoor on the second floor of City Mall Boracay. Three courts of pickleball, and it was busy. People were playing like partners. I noticed like 2-on-2, two against two, and they're having fun. I mean, there's some serious players in there because I think they're locals. You know, I think they're foreigners that live here in Boracay, and that's part of their exercise is going playing pickleball. And you can do that in the rain. You know, they can still play pickleball today because it's indoors. It's inside of City Mall Boracay, right across the movie theaters. There was like two movies showing. One was Lilo and Stitch for kids, rated G, and then the other one was a movie by Keanu Reeves. I haven't seen that movie. I haven't even seen the preview, but we might check out a movie. If it rains all day like this, Dazzle and I might check out a movie because it was even cheap for the movie. I think it was only like 200 pesos per person on the movie. You know, so that's maybe less than $4 per person on the movie. My friend did ask me because my friend Ray went with me when we were going through Boracay City Mall. He said, "Where's the popcorn?" Because he didn't see a popcorn machine. And I did tell Ray. I remember watching a movie at City Mall Boracay. They didn't have like the popcorn machine that like cooks the popcorn and then you get the popcorn. The popcorn they gave me was like, looks like it was pre-made in a bag already. But you know, it's still popcorn. You still get a bag, like a brown bag of popcorn. It wasn't a big bag either. And then they gave you a bottle of water because at the time when I went to the movies, at Boracay when Dazzle and I went, they didn't have like the soda fountain even. So, but the good thing that we learned, Dazzle and I learned a trick now. So when we go to the movies, they allow us to carry a backpack. So now if we're gonna go to the movies, we're getting soda, we're getting like all snacks that we want to eat in the theater, candy and everything. We're gonna bring it in my backpack and just not buy that brown bag of popcorn they got and bottled water. You know, so we'll bring our own food. And what's nice about that theater, I warned you about that theater. Bring a jacket. If you go to City Mall Boracay, man, their AC is strong in there. So when Dazzle and I go there, we always make sure we have a rain jacket or something, double shirt or long sleeve because it's cold in there. Because not many people go to the theaters. You know, it's like every time Dazzle and I go to that movie theater, I could count like 6 to 10 people. It's never, you know, I guess because you're in Boracay Island, why would you watch a movie? You know, it's like the beach, everything else, they got so many activities here. But for Dazzle and I, the reason we like going to the theater, we don't have a theater in mainland Aklan. No theater in Calibo. This is the only chance we get to watch a movie. And usually Dazzle and I, for the whole year, we'll watch maybe 2 movies. We'll go to City Mall Boracay twice a year. Dazzle will probably want to watch Lilo and Stitch, and I don't mind. You know, I know Dazzle. She's a fan of Stitch. We got that big Stitch, you know, like on our above our kitchen. You know, that big purple-looking Stitch there. You know, so I know she's a fan of Stitch, so I don't mind. You know, I just like sitting in a movie theater. You know, it's just a fun thing for me to do. Hey, Marcus, greetings from Germany, my friend in Germany. Marcus was here in the Philippines vacation not too long ago, so I'm sure he's watching our Boracay videos. I'm sure he's enjoying the Boracay videos. Peter T. Hello, Australia. All right, Peter T. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining the live stream. I have friends now because of our YouTube channel in Australia. People watch us from Australia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Happy Coffee Day, my brother. Hey, Ray, my friend in Sacramento, California. Hello, Ray. Thanks for the information on the proposed... Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Many people are excited about that. And I think a very high chance of passing because... there's millions of Americans living outside of the United States, you know, so that alone there, you know, they're getting a push for that, you know, and then And then even in the United States, I know many people, people that I talk to, one of the things that concern them is the cost of medical care here in the Philippines, because the only insurance they have is Medicare. So that is preventing them from coming here. But if that becomes a law and passes, and you can use Medicare here, that is going to be a blessing not only for people living here, but also for people wanting to come still, Americans that want to come to the Philippines. And I even mentioned on the video, and there's already a system here in the Philippines that it's not going to be a hard transition from Medicare to implement it. Because my insurance is with TRICARE Medical Insurance. I'm a United States Air Force retired, 20 years active duty. So my insurance is with TRICARE. And TRICARE, they have to certify hospitals here. They call it certified or preferred. The certified hospitals, I have to pay upfront, and then I have to file my claim online. I file the claim online with TRICARE, and they reimburse me 75% because that's the agreement with TRICARE. But there's preferred hospitals here, like I mentioned, like St. Luke's Hospital in BGC, and also Makati Medical Center. Medical City Iloilo here in Panay Island is a TRICARE preferred. And when I say TRICARE preferred, when I go to the hospital, they bill TRICARE. So there's already a system in place for Medicare to just like, hey, they can just go to TRICARE and say, give me your list of hospitals that are already approved, that we know is good medical care here in the Philippines. Vaughn, all right, Vaughn. Please stay abreast on the Medicare Portability broadcast. Oh, for sure, Vaughn. I'm part of the Facebook group. Yeah, I joined that Facebook group. My good friend, he's a retired Chief Master Sergeant. He's living in Lipa, Batangas. Jimbo is his name on my YouTube channel. Jimbo and Jen, his wife Jen. They're retired. He's retired in Lipa, but he's the one that let me know about that group that's pushing for that. And I mean, it's the president of the Philippines flew to Washington D.C. and that was one of the topics he discussed with the congressman in the United States. So it's got a good chance. I think because like I said, I think it's a win-win situation for both the U.S. and the Philippines. I don't see any negative. I don't see any negative at all for them to allow. I think at the very least, at least try it. At least have a pilot program or something. But it's included in the budget for FY 2026. So that starts like 1 October. We're already in June, July, August. I mean, that's 4 months away if it gets approved, man. That's like awesome. Yes, very exciting, Vaughn. Very exciting, definitely very exciting. My mom lives in the Philippines now. Exactly, Vaughn. There's Americans living here in the Philippines now that are paying out of pocket. They are Medicare eligible, but they can't use their Medicare here, so they choose to just pay out of pocket. And I know I have friends, that I live in the same community I live. They're on Medicare, and that's their case. All their medical care here in the Philippines is paid out of pocket. And these guys are in their 70s already. They paid into Social Security. They paid into that Medicare. So it's unfortunate that they can't use it here in the Philippines, So I'm glad there's like James Moylan, the delegate from Guam. I'm glad that he had the foresight to introduce the bill, and he's getting bipartisan support in the House of Representatives, because we pay too many taxes in the U.S. and they take too much of our money all these years, man. Ooh, it's pouring hard now, man. It's really raining now, man. But you know, we pay so many taxes. You know, to me, it's like they're doing a disservice to Americans that put in a lot of money into Social Security all their life, and now that they're like Medicare age, 65 and older, we're letting them down, you know. So that's, and I know politicians recognize that, you know, that they recognize that these are Americans, you know. The Philippines will be a medical tourist location. I know, right? I mean, right now, Thailand has that reputation for medical tourism, but you know, I might lose you guys because just a warning, because when it's pouring rain like this, there's a tendency for the internet to not work. But so far so good. Looks like I still got you guys. Yeah, you know, that could be a boom, tourism, medical tourism boom for the Philippines. And like I said on the video, you know, all those they're getting up there in age, they're in Medicare age now, doctors, nurses, professionals, man, they can come back here in the Philippines and do volunteer work here, share their knowledge to like the local here, and you know, to me it's like a win-win, for a lot of win-win. I don't really see a negative. I don't see a negative. And I know people will, you know, it's going to be hard for them to implement it about fraud here in the Philippines. TRICARE already went through that. Back in the early 2000 to like 2005, there was a lot of fraud with TRICARE here in the Philippines. Our military medical insurance for retirees. There was a lot of fraud that happened during that time. That's why TRICARE now, it's not easy to become a TRICARE certified, a TRICARE preferred. And these hospitals know that if they commit any fraud, they will lose that money. You know, you lose your TRICARE certification here in the Philippines. You know, that's a lot of money. I know Asia Pacific Medical Center in Calibo, they're trying to get certified as one facility for TRICARE. And it's a tedious process. It's been months now. I keep checking with them, and they keep telling me they're still working on it to get put on the TRICARE list, because they want to get put on the TRICARE list because Aklan province, not just Aklan, people from Antique, people from Capiz, we got military retirees here in Panay Island. I know many Navy people, Air Force people, Army that are retired here in that's why they're pushing for TRICARE to be accepted at Asia Pacific Medical Center. You know, they don't want to lose. Once they get that certification as a TRICARE medical facility, they don't want to lose that, you know, because the hospitals lose a lot of money when military veterans can't go to their hospital. Tim C, yo, Tim. My good friend in Las Vegas. What's up, Tim? Good morning. I don't know what time this is for you, man. I don't know if this is kind of like your workout time. If you're at the gym at Planet Fitness, I'm not sure. But hello, my brother. Good to see you on the live stream. Ray, hello. New light bulb? It's not mint color anymore. Ray, our good friend Danny. I think because it's the cloudy. I mean, they didn't replace the bulb. It's just a regular white bulb. The walls here, it's kind of like, the color is like, what color is this? Like, it's a blue-green kind of color? Aqua color. But it's cloudy because, man, it is pouring. I can hear the rain. I like it here because it's a balcony, but I got this glass thing. I'll show you guys. That way you can see it. That's why I'm not getting wet. And it's also color like light blue. But it is pouring now. It is pouring. I like it because I'm getting a nice breeze. You know, from that open window right there, I'm getting a nice breeze. and I got my, rain and coffee. Man, that doesn't get better than this, man. This is like, I'm living the life, man. I'm living the life here, man. And like even here, it could be downpouring like this right now. By noontime, the sun might be up, So it's not like it's gonna rain all day, Well, unless the low pressure area. I gotta check after the live stream. I gotta check and see where the low pressure area is. I thought that on the map I was looking at it, it was already like near the Bicol region. Let me look at right here because I was checking it out earlier here. It says here, cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms. Bicol region, Central Visayas. Central Visayas is like Cebu, Dumaguete, Bohol, Northern Mindanao, Caraga, Davao region. See, we're not even included in the list, but we're getting rain, Like I said, we're getting like the outer bands of this low pressure area. Manila, Metro Manila, cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms. Not because of because there's two weather systems right now. It's not just the low pressure area. Manila, they're getting the rain because of the southwest monsoon. So, rainy season is definitely here. I can tell because on Boracay Island, a sign for me that rainy season has started in Boracay Island, the beach, white beach. Now the waves are on white beach. The wind, the monsoon winds are in white beach. Normally, that's on the back beach on Bulabo. And Dazzle and I, we went to my friend's house yesterday at Bulabo Beach. Their beach is like calm. It's like a swimming pool on that beach yesterday. But on White Beach now, waves are crashing. Of course, when the waves are crashing, you're getting debris. You're getting debris like wood, sometimes plastic bottles, unfortunately. And the other day, my friend was walking Front Beach. He's also a vlogger here, Relax Kalang channel. He was like, there was actually algae. And there wasn't algae anymore in Boracay, when I was doing my walk. So it washed up from somewhere because, again, the waves are strong. So on Front Beach, things are just washing up. But the local government, the local LGU Malay, municipality of Malay, they do a great job. They'll clean that up. I don't know if they're gonna clean up in this rain, but it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me if they're out there in a jacket cleaning the beach of all the debris that washes in. Because Boracay, that's the money maker for Boracay Island is White Beach. People that vacation here, they don't want to see White Beach all dirty. So constantly, people from the local government sweeping the beach, bagging stuff that wash up in the shore in like sacks. They're always cleaning the beach. They do a great job. The municipality of Malay does a great job keeping the beach clean. As much as the beach is like, almost 5 kilometers long. If you can imagine, almost from like the end of Station 1 to the end of Station 3, about 5 kilometers long. That's a lot of beach to clean, man. The people, the employees of Malay, they'll be all day. I mean, by the time they're done, they got like a truckloads of garbage that wash into Front Beach. So a lot of work gets, that doesn't get recognized. People just see, like, oh, it's a nice beach, But, I know a lot of work goes into keeping the beach clean. Bon, all right, St. Luke. I know, man. I know St. Luke's is good because my mom, back in the 70s, this was even back in the 70s, St. Luke's in Quezon City, my mom had surgery there. For her something with her pancreas. I was just a little kid then, and my mom's doctor, I remember his name. He's like Doctor. I'm sure he's retired now. Dr. Pasion. He was educated in the United States. He was a licensed doctor in the United States, and he chose to practice at St. Luke's. A lot of the doctors at St. Luke's and Makati Medical, they're trained in the United States, so a lot of experience, it's not like, they have that here, they have that. If you need heart bypass surgery, they have that here in the Philippines. Don't think that you need to fly to the US to get that care. Like for me, that's why when I had to go through my cancer treatments, my chemo, my radiation, I felt comfortable getting my treatment at Medical City Iloilo because I toured the hospital. I toured the hospital. Looked at I went to Medicus Cancer Institute. I saw the equipment that they had. I was medical for 27 years in the United States. I know what I'm looking at as far as MRIs, radiation equipment. I know what I'm looking at, and it's the same equipment. Actually, some of them are better than some of the hospitals I worked in the U.S. So it's not like, the one thing I remind people, like in the U.S., nurses in the U.S., they are overworked, because of the high pay in the United States. Nurses, when they work at a hospital, they are, man, I don't know a nurse in the U.S. that's not stressed when they're working in a hospital. The level of stress as a nurse in the U.S. is like up there, because they have more patients to take care of, because they don't hire as many nurses. Man, here in the Philippines, you go to a hospital here, you go to a nursing station here, there's a ton of nurses, almost a 1-to-1 ratio with a patient and nurse, it's like there's a gaggle of nurses. In the U.S., one nurse, you can be assigned 5-6 patients. And then the other thing that nurses in the U.S. have to worry about, lawsuits. Like I said, I was a risk management coordinator. Part of my job, we hire attorneys that we had to prepare our nurses for deposition. The nurses actually have to come to our office, and our lawyers have to prepare them for a deposition. Not a fun thing if you're a brand new nurse or you haven't been through that. Scary for a lot of nurses, that aren't used to that aren't used to deposition, getting grilled by another attorney, So here in the Philippines, you don't have that. You don't have that pressure on the nurses. They don't have to worry about malpractice. I've never heard of a malpractice lawsuit in the Philippines. Here, people trust their doctors, trust the people that take care of them, and then if something goes wrong, the doctors discuss, like I said, I've never heard of a lawsuit here, a malpractice lawsuit in the Philippines. In the United States, lawsuit claims, they're like, we stay busy. Let me put it that way. Our lawyers, we were always trying to settle lawsuits, claims, hospitals. That's why the cost of hospital care in the U.S. is so high. It's like the insurance that the doctors have to carry and the insurance that the hospitals have to carry is like insane amount of money that we pay out, for insurance. All right, it's coming down now, so you guys probably can hear me better because that rain was coming down hard. Can you get me a Space Force challenge coin? You know what, brother? I only have one coin. A lot of my military memorabilia, when I moved to the Philippines, I just left it with family, because when I moved to Boracay Island in 2011, I stayed here for about 18 months, I had one suitcase and a backpack, man, because I wasn't gonna bring my shadow boxes, plaques, coins. As a matter of fact, my good friend Joel, he's from Park in Arizona, up close to like the Grand Canyon. He lives out there. He likes to do astrology pictures out in the desert. He gave me a coin, the only coin I own. He gave me an Air Force Medical Service coin. And before that, when I was in the U.S., I had a collection of coins, like I'm sure you do. It's like coins is we call it coins. It's a challenge coin, and a lot of times commanders, on the base commander, hospital commander, would give it to you for doing something good. I mean, there's people that I know, like even the president has a coin, you know. President of the United States has a coin. For anybody in the military, related to the military, they would have the coin and they would hand it out to people that provided good service to them. But I can't get that here anyway, man. I'm in the Philippines, brother. You know, there are no military challenge coins here in the Philippines. I have not seen it for sale here in the Philippines. Mary Rose Rollins. Oh, hello, Mary Rose. Hello. Tim C, you get your 3-in-1. This is my 3-in-1. Tim, look at that. My Copico Blanca, man. That's my 3-in-1, brother. That's what I've been drinking at this Airbnb while I'm staying here, Tim. Furry. Hopefully Medicare take effect in the Philippines in 6 years when I reach 65. Oh yeah, I mean, it could happen this October, man. It could, if all goes well, if our politicians in Congress don't let us down, it could happen this 1 October 2025. It is already part of the U.S. budget for FY 2026, which starts October 1st of this year. So once the budget gets approved, there's a budget for it. It gets included in the budget. So they'll have money for the program already. Sad fact, Daniel. All right, Daniel. I know, man. I know what you probably mean. It's a sad fact that a lot of times, our politicians in Congress let us down. Hopefully they do the right thing this time. Hopefully they take care of us Americans. We paid into Social Security. We paid into Medicare, man. The least they can do is provide that service to us. Instead of spending all this money on these other countries that we donate money, man, why can't they donate it to Americans, man? Come on, now. Bond, medical tourists will be a boom. I know, man. It would be. That's why President Marcos. That's why he flew to Washington D.C., man. He's campaigning for this because, it will be a big boom for the Philippines. Just the amount of Americans that will move to the Philippines, the money that they will bring, their pensions that they'll bring, the pension that they'll spend here, and then when they do sick care in Medicare, it will be a boom to the hospitals, the certified and preferred hospitals here. That would be, they would be making money, a boom for the Philippines and savings for Medicare in the United States. Hey, balikbayan guy. All right, thank you for joining the little live stream, brother. Good morning, my friend. Love the Axam. Oh, we love Axam. It's we celebrated Leanna's birthday last year there, and we go there often. We love Axam. Beautiful. I mean, for the price too. We usually can get one cabana, food and swimming entrance for 1,000 pesos, $18, and we can spend the whole day there. Free internet, we could be there. Free Wi-Fi, it's an awesome place. We love. That's why one of our recommendations in Calibo, if you're looking for a resort, is Axam Resort. The best swimming pool in Calibo. You can now find a cleaner swimming pool than Axam. I don't know what the guy does, the pool guy. He's a legend, man, because swimming pools are not easy to clean or keep that crystal clear, But the guy, I'm sure he's been doing it for years. Like I said, the guy is a pool legend, swimming pool legend. Beautiful place. I know my daughter Maggie would love to swim there. Salamat po. Walang anuman, kaibigan. Leanna, that's one of her favorite place. The minute I tell Leanna, let's go swimming at Axam, she lights up immediately, so she loves swimming at Axam. And we always seem to when we go to Axam, it always seems to be we're the only ones there. It's never crowded. I guess because, 1,000 pesos charge, that is high for Filipinos. Filipinos, in Calibo anyway, they like to get bargain. Because, there's a beach in Calibo. There's other swimming pools that are the entrance are like 50 pesos, less than a buck for entrance. So but that's like a a public swimming pool compared to a fancy resort. Axam is like considered a fancy resort in Calibo anyway. That's one of the like nicer places in Calibo. Edgar, I would have paid out of pocket for knee replacement surgery in the Philippines and recovered in the Philippines, but online funding expert surgeon was impossible to know. Recovering at home alone. Oh man, unfortunately, man. Sorry to hear that, Edgar. Like I guess that's why you mentioned about recovering alone at home. Like you said, if you had like a knee replacement surgery, you need somebody to like assist you to go to the bathroom. Like I said, it don't have to be like a medical caregiver. It just needs to be a person. Here in the Philippines, you can hire somebody like that. It would cost you an arm and a leg. A home, like I said, if you get a 2-bedroom apartment here, get a 2-bedroom apartment in Calibo, costs less than $200. Offer that one room to your caregiver, and then since you're paying for room and board already, you'll probably at the most spend another $10,000, another $200 a month. So for your apartment and your caregiver, spend $400 to have a live-in person to help you to go to the bathroom, to go grocery shopping for you, to go to the public market, to cook for you, to do your laundry. So to me, and a lot of people are finding this out because I have a friend. They're coming from Colorado. They're gonna move to Iloilo. They're bringing their elderly parents here to Iloilo City. I think they're buying a home in one of the subdivisions and making one of the bedrooms downstairs for their parents, and then hiring somebody full-time to take care of their parents. Man, you do something like that in the United States, you're talking about thousands of dollars if you can find one, that will be willing to do that. Here in the Philippines, man, you can find people here and pay, like I said, 10,000 pesos. They're not medically certified, but sometimes you just need somebody to talk to, instead of being alone in America, being alone in a 1-bedroom apartment. Sometimes that person just talking to you, just keeping that conversation, will, get you back to health. It's like and I know, like you mentioned, Edgar, I have friends here that are on Medicare. They can't use their Medicare here. So when they seek medical care here in the Philippines, they pay out of pocket. A lot of them avail the PhilHealth. PhilHealth for an expat here costs about 17,000 pesos. Little over $300. My friend Brian, he's from Texas. He's been retired here now in the Philippines for, I think, he did 1 year in Calibo, went back to the US. Now I think he's almost a year now. He bought a house with his wife, Gloria. Gloria's an American citizen. They're coming back. Gloria lived in the US for many, many years. I think at least 30 years in the US. Now they bought a home in Lezo. They're here. They both, Brian got PhilHealth. It cost him 17,000 pesos. And Gloria is included in his PhilHealth. PhilHealth in the Philippines, it's not a full medical insurance, but it's a discount. It's a discount card for a lot of medical procedures here. You'll get a discount. And also, a lot of hospitals here, private hospitals, the minute they see that PhilHealth, they'll take you in, because they know they can build PhilHealth, so you get a leg up getting admitted to the hospital, getting treatment. And most foreigners here anyway, this is just my opinion, right? Most foreigners here anyway, you get special treatment here in the Philippines with anything, with apartments, with hospitals, because the one thing the hospitals, apartments, no, foreigners can pay. They already look at a foreigner rich. All foreigners in the Filipinos' mind, the locals' mind here are rich, so not a problem. Like a hospital, that when they see a foreigner, they know, this guy got money. He can be able to pay, so not a problem. They treat you better. Dazzle always tells me that, that foreigners get treated better here than the locals because of money. Because the foreigners have money. Balikbayan guy, praying the poor, absolutely, absolute game changer. I agree. I know it's an absolute game changer for friends of mine that are already here. Friends of mine, a lot of times they're debating on cost because they're debating, all right, I'm paying out of pocket here. If I get really sick, they have emergency fund. But if they seek medical care in the U.S., they got to think about airline ticket. And then when they go to the U.S., where are they going to stay in the U.S.? If they have family or friends, it's still, it's a cost. You don't want to go to a family member or a friend's house in the U.S. and seek medical care and you're living off them. People in the U.S. are already on tight budget. So that's why, a lot of my friends that are here paying out of pocket, I know, they're already paying out of pocket. So for them, it's a blessing to have Medicare here because they already choose to receive their medical care here in the Philippines. They don't even want to fly to the United States anymore to seek care. So being reimbursed or being able to seek care here, for them, it's like it's a game changer. That's a good word. It's a game changer. Hi, bro. God bless. Hey, Rev Fred. God bless, my brother. God bless. Hope you're doing well, Rev Fred. Hope you're doing well. Movie theaters in Boracay are probably for the locals. No, even the movie theater. I mean, the locals, man. Most Filipinos, Vaughn, they just download the movie for free. On the light came out. The light came out. It's on automatic lights. Yeah, the locals here, man. They just download movie for free, man. Pirate Bay. I mean, I'm not advertising illegal download, but that's most Filipinos here, man. Have you seen that movie? They'll pass the movie to you to like a USB, and I can plug it on my computer and I just watch the movie that way, They don't sell the CDs anymore, the pirated CDs. I don't see that anymore anywhere. But people just, like the thumb drive or like the USB, and they just send it. Hey, bro, they'll download like several movies, and I get it from a friend of mine, and like 10 movies, and I just put it on my computer. I have like 3 computers now. One computer I specifically use for that, just in case there's like a virus or something like that. I have antivirus on it, but just for safety. I don't want it's the oldest laptop that I have. It's barely running. But it can still run a movie, and that's where I do like when people hand me give me some movies to watch. Yeah, that's why I don't see. That's why in Calibo they don't even have in Aklan province, the whole province, Antique province, no movie theater in the both provinces because nobody goes to the theater. For Filipinos like here in the maybe in Manila, and people in Manila, I'm sure they got hot popcorn, nachos, vending soda. Here in the one thing I've learned about province people, a lot of people here are low budget. It's like a movie theater is like a luxury that most people they'll just watch the movie for free on a laptop, and they'll make it like a home thing. Make their own popcorn at home and make their own snacks at home. Chicharon at home, make it up, they got those little speakers now that like a Bluetooth from your laptop. Most of my friends, that's how they kind of simulate the theater, Uno Vlog, hello po, hello Uno Vlog. Thank you for joining the live stream. Is it raining hard there right now? It is. It's calmed down a little. It's calmed down a little. Earlier, I had to speak up a little because it was really pouring. But they expect rain. I went on a pag-asa. They expect rain, but it won't be all day. I'm sure sometime today the sun will peek out and I'll be able to go to the beach, check out the beach. And if it does rain this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, by Monday, we'll be back to sunny weather. That low pressure area, I think, is by the Bicol region, and it's gonna climb up towards like northern Luzon. So it'll be leaving the Philippine area of responsibility probably by Monday or Tuesday. Not only Bora, also your morning walk in Numancia. I like Bora, but my home in Iloilo and Dueñas. Oh yeah, I know where Dueñas. Marcus, I know we pass Dueñas all the time on our way to Iloilo City. Yeah. Oh, I know, man. Like my friend, I got friends in Iloilo City. Frederick, my friend Manny and Sharon. Man, every day they're like walking in Iloilo City because Iloilo City is so walkable. You know, they got like brick sidewalks, big sidewalks. They're always exercising. You know, that's me. That's part of my routine is walking. And even if it's raining like this, I have an umbrella. I have a rain jacket, so it's not gonna stop me from. The beach is only 5-minute walk from here. It's not gonna stop me from walking. You know, I love the rain. It's not like. I got board shorts, I got t-shirt, rain jacket, I wear flip-flops, so it's not like my shoes are gonna get wet, it's like, I love walking in the rain, I might even film it. I've filmed videos before in the rain. That's why I didn't mind coming here to Boracay, June, the whole month of June, that I knew we were gonna get rain during our stay here. Dazzle and I, we just came prepared. We have 2 umbrellas, we have 2 rain jackets, so the rain doesn't bother me. It's not like it's snow. Snow would bother me because you gotta like clean that snow, scrape your windshield, your windows. You gotta dig out of snow. I don't have to dig. I just gotta walk through the water. If anything. Tanya G, food, drinks, and popcorn in the cinemas is overpriced. It's smart to just pack. Oh yeah, I'm packing. When we go to the theater, they don't check anyway. They're so laid back at City Mall Boracay because they hardly have any customers. They're lucky if that's when I go to the theater. I might film it so that you guys can see it. We might be the only one watching in the movies there. So it's like your own private screening of a movie on a big screen for like 200 pesos. For like $3.50. I mean, for me, you can't beat that. And if we bring our own snacks, it's like, man. I'm sure we'll do it. I'm sure Dazzle and I do. We've just been busy because there's so many people that, and that was part of the reason why I decided on the 1 month in Boracay. So many people reached out and they were saying that they were going to be in Boracay in June. So almost every day we're meeting subscribers that came from the United States, Thailand. It's like, so I was like, well, if we're there, it's easier for Dazzle and I to meet them, instead of like driving all the way back, staying 1 night, 2 nights, back and forth, back home. And, I don't want to drive anyway during the rainy season, more accidents during the rainy season on the roads here. So that's part of the reason why we decided, hey, let's just take a vacation for a month. Mom is taking good care of Leanna. Somebody had asked us, who's watching Leanna? Mom is taking good care of Leanna. They're going to church. They're going to Calibo. They're going to the plaza, 7-Eleven. So they're having fun. It's not like they got Wi-Fi in the house. They got a flat screen TV. They're watching movies together. I made sure like our pantry was full of food, freezer full of food, drinks in the fridge. So not a problem. They're set. Mom and Leanna are having a vacation too. Leanna starts school June 16th, so that's coming up. That's like not this Monday, following Monday. So and I know this coming week, Leanna and Mom they plan on participating with the Brigada Escuela. It's like the school brigade here in the public school in the Philippines. 1 week before the start of school, the parents and the students, they go to the school and clean the school. Like the whole thing, playground, bathrooms, classrooms, they dust windows, because, for the last 2 months, they've been closed, the school has been closed. So there are a lot of dust probably. Yeah, so they're gonna clean. It's called Brigada Escuela. So I know Mom and Leanna they plan on participating in that. It's volunteer, people, you don't have to do it, but many parents, many students participate, because it's a good way to start the year. Kids are excited. A lot of times they'll probably go to the classroom, their scheduled classroom. For Leanna will be in the first year of high school, so I'm sure she's excited to see the classroom where she's gonna be designated. Because here in the Philippines, that's the difference. In the U.S., I remember when I was in high school, I would go each class. I would go to a different classroom. I would be like, on the first floor for my period 1, period 2, and the second floor on other building for period 3. In the Philippines, the public school here, the kids stay in one classroom. The teachers are the one that rotate. So the students in Leanna's class, there's about 36 of them. They're pretty much on their desk the whole time. Even their lunch box, they have like a cubby hole for their lunches or on their stuff. Kind of, it's not a locker, it's just a little cubby that they put their lunch and all that. So Leanna, she stays at school for lunch. She'll go through like 7:30 till 11, and then 11 to 12:30, hour and a half is their lunch. So Leanna just sits in the classroom, eats her lunch with her classmates, and their teachers too eat their lunch in the classroom. So that's a different dynamic. It's like, that was new to me when I went to the United States, and I went to I graduated elementary school in Manila, then I went to the United States for high school. And when I found out about that schedule and going to classroom to class, and then you had a locker in the hallway, that was like a different dynamic. And gym, you had a locker in your gym. I mean, it was a lot for me actually. Like, I remember it was like, I was nervous like the first day of school, because I was like, man, it's like, I gotta go here, I gotta go here. What if I get lost? Or what if I don't hit the bell? They have the bell, they ring it, and then you have a certain amount of time to get from one classroom to the other. Sergeant USA Daniel, my good friend in Jacksonville, Florida. It's shameful that when you go from TRICARE under 30, okay, to Medicare, approximately 200 a month, about a 600 increase. Oh, wow. I know, like, for me, if, without this law that's coming in, without this bill, if it doesn't get passed, I'm with TRICARE medical insurance right now. I know for me, I'll be 59 in a month and a half. When I hit 65, in order for me to use TRICARE medical insurance here in the Philippines, I have to sign up for Medicare. And I have to pay, I think, about $200 for Medicare. That I'm living here, man, I'm retired in the Philippines, I gotta pay Medicare, and I can't use Medicare here. So to me, that doesn't make any sense, because Medicare, TRICARE looks at it as Medicare as my primary insurer, and then TRICARE the secondary insurer. So I'm only allowed to use TRICARE in the Philippines once I turn 65 if I'm enrolled in Medicare. Since I can't use Medicare here in the Philippines, TRICARE becomes my primary. They'll pay for my medical care in the Philippines. But to me, it doesn't make sense. I'm paying, when I turn 65, I gotta pay Medicare, but I can't use it. That don't make no sense to me. That $200, that's a lot of money every month, man. I could say if it's $200 a year, but this is $200 a month. That's a good percentage of my Social Security, man. Rep Fred Marjorie, hi all. Can you help our brother by liking, subscribing? He is a good man. And oh man, thank you so much, Rep Fred. Appreciate the kind words. Means a lot to me. My brother. Michael Manalastas. Good morning, brother. Hey, good morning, Michael Manalastas. All right, thank you for joining. Hey, Biggie's support group, my good friend Mark. Thank you, Mark. Man, appreciate you, brother. You're always like, I know you just hello on my comment. It helps our algorithm, helps that people, even a simple thumbs up or on the comment like hi Gino, even something like that, it helps the channel. Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate you, my brother. LOL, sad fact, was the second part of my first message. Alright, sad fact. Alright, no worries, man, no worries. I know how it is with the what's that, autocorrect. I know how it is autocorrect. And me, man, when I'm replying to people on my phone, I guess my thumb is big or something, because I'm like, I know I'm hitting A. Why is it giving me S? That happens. No worries, Daniel. No worries. Jimbo, hey Jimbo, good. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Tim C. Jimbo is also the name of the person. He's a retired chief master sergeant and lives in Lipa, Batangas with his wife Jen. He actually was the one. The one that emailed me, sent me an email regarding the Medicare Portability bill. He's the one that I've never even heard of it till he sent me the thing, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. I knew immediately. I knew many of my friends. I shot the email, shared the email. I'm sharing, to everybody that I know, and then I did a video. So hopefully the word spreads. People are aware about it, and then maybe push their congressman, push their senator. Tell them, hey, it's like I want this to happen. I mean, you never know if those things matter. These congressmen that or senators that we elect, I'm sure they read, what the people send them, Tim C. All right, Dazzle having withdrawals from Ukay Ukay. I know, Tim. Talk about Ukay Ukay, man. Dazzle ain't gonna get withdrawals, man. Over at City Mall Boracay, right across City Mall Boracay, there's a Ukay Ukay there, man. And she was hitting it yesterday. She bought a dress yesterday. She went in there and came out with like a dress. So she's not missing. Man, they got Ukay Ukay here in Boracay. There's one down by close to Station 1 that she wants to hit that Ukay Ukay because she saw there's a lot of like workout gear, a lot of like the spandex workout top, bottom. And Dazzle likes them, but she likes the workout gear because we're always walking, we're always working out. So I know she's gonna hit that place, So she ain't missing Ukay Ukay, brother. I think there's Ukay Ukay thrift store is what they are. If people don't know what the Ukay Ukay is, man, they're everywhere in the Philippines now. There is no place in the Philippines that doesn't have Ukay Ukay. I can go to the public market and there's Ukay Ukay in there, man. They're everywhere because it's cheap clothing, It's like it's used clothing, but a lot of the products, like there are good Ukay Ukay stores here because like some of the things that board shorts that Dazzle gets me, she can get it for like 150 pesos, $2.50. And when I look, it's like Old Navy, the brands in the U.S. Some of them even have tags on them because like I guess Goodwill, I guess Goodwill in the United States, they're a thrift store in the United States. They sell it and they put the Goodwill tag. Sometimes I'm looking at the things that Dazzle brings home, and there's a tag from Goodwill and it says they're $9.95. I was like, oh dang, they came from Goodwill. It's like it made it all the way to the Philippines. And I guess the Ukay Ukay people that sell it, it makes sense for them to leave the tag, because people here in the Philippines, man, there's this thing about American products. Anything American, anything that has made in the USA, it could be clothes, it could be food, it could be anything. They just value anything that's made in America. That's always been ingrained in Filipinos. It's like even when I was a kid growing up here in the 70s, if I got a Snickers bar from the United States, that was like, ooh, man, this is imported, this is like, because we had relatives that would fly from America, they would come home to Manila, at the time we lived in Manila, and as kids, of course, they'll hand us chocolates, I remember like a Hershey's chocolate, you're going like, wow, and they taste different, from the local Filipino chocolate. I mean, Big difference. And even now, when I eat Filipino chocolate compared to American chocolate, I mean, American chocolate is like the bomb. It's like the Filipino chocolate just don't hit right. There's a few that might be that's okay, but they ain't Hershey's, they ain't Cadbury, they ain't Toblerone, man. It's like we don't have that kind of quality chocolate here. And Dazzle says the same thing because she's big on chocolates, and so is Leanna. But anything products in the U.S., man, you put that made in the USA, man. The people here are proud to wear that, and I'm sure many of our viewers know that when they come here, they bring gifts to people here, and it's coming from the U.S. It has that Nike, even though sometimes Nike makes their stuff in Vietnam, but you can tell the difference when it's like a product that's like import qualities. They call it import quality in the U.S. to like the local, that like the new era hats that people bring here from the United States. The local hats here, man, they're so flimsy, man. It's like you just can tell the quality. The quality, anything with like a American brand or even the American brands that, like I said, made in Vietnam or made in Honduras, they're still better quality than the local stuff you get here. And the local stuff here, like the Boracay shirts that you get here, the printed Boracay shirts, man, you wash those things one time and they're like, man, what happened to my shirt? It don't look as nice anymore. Sergeant USA went to the movies last week. Were the $5 Tuesday? Not bad, not bad. If they have the $5 Tuesday, it's now $7. Oh, okay, $7. Still not bad. I mean, I know theaters in the U.S. Large Coke was $7 and went up to $9. Oh man, inflation is. I know. I hear it all the time, brother. I hear that that inflation is alive and well. Obi Olsen, all right, top of the morning to you, Olsen, Aliyah, and Isaiah. Top of the morning, brother. Hi, everyone. All right. Ray, all right, Sacramento, California, buddy, my good friend in Sacramento. You are right about the nurse's job here is stressful, and the ratio is 5 per people. I know, man. I know that, man, because like I said, man, 27 years working in hospital. I was a medical administration. I've seen it. I've seen the complaints for nurses. My last job, like I said, I was a risk management coordinator. They hated the call from Ginno. The nurses hated the call from me because usually it's a call. Hey, you're gonna be deposed. Your name was called, and the other side attorney wants to depose you, or we. And the thing was, we never in my 7 years working in in Arizona, I don't remember us ever going to a trial because everything gets settled. But even a settlement, it's a long process because if we get a lawsuit. I get the lawsuit. I actually get to read the lawsuit because it comes to me before it gets to the attorney. I have to log it in. I have to get all the details. If we had a computer system where I put it, and then when the attorney reads it, we had one attorney for the network. She would assign it to the attorneys that we hire in Tucson. We had a few attorneys that we use for our malpractice. And man, those attorneys, they be billing us. I saw the bills. They're charging $300, $400 an hour. I mean, they're charging us for just copying the summons. They're anything. Medical record. I had to get copies of the medical record of the patient. And the forward to the. I mean, our bills. I would get the bills for the different lawsuits and different claims, and it's so I saw all the bills. That's why. That's why you're paying that big amount in the U.S. for medical care. It's because of the insurance, because too many lawsuits. And then like my friend Ray was saying, I have not met a nurse in the 7 years I was in Arizona that was not stressed. Because the amount of patient they give them per that they have to handle, and then the depositions that they have to be called on their day off usually. here in the Philippines, you go to a nursing station at at Asia Pacific Medical Center or Medical City Iloilo. Man, there's like a group of them. When I got admitted at Panay Hospital in Calibo, I got admitted there. The nurses station there, there's like 4 or 5 nurses there. And then when they come to my room, there's like 2, 3 nurses, one trying to help me. It's like because they can hire the nurses here. It's like the nurses here in the Philippines don't make not even close to what they pay in the United States. They might make 30,000 pesos at the most, here in the province anyway. That's like what, $550 a month, for a nurse. Man, the nurses in the States, they bank some serious money. Overtime, differential if they work the night shift, swing shift, they're banking some serious money, but they're earning that money. It's like if you're a nurse in the US, man, you're stressed. That's why a lot of Americans that are in the US, they don't want to go into nursing anymore. That's why most of the nurses are coming here from the Philippines. Very stressful, especially after COVID. That was like a tipping point for a lot of nurses that I know in the United States. They were like, man, I got to find me another job, because like I can't handle this thing. Sorry, please like. All right, thank you, Daniel, thank you. Appreciate it. We got 31 likes, man. Thank you very much for the 31 likes. Appreciate that, my friends. Obi, another thing I noticed is the Philippines does not sell birthday cards or any cards. Yeah. I've never seen the Hallmark cards. No, I don't. About the only card you'll see if you buy the cake. There's like that little flip card, if you buy, because here's a lot of people here, because the cakes are so cheap, you can buy like a small cake, like for 300 pesos, 550. So a lot of times they buy a cake and with a little card, that's the gift. That's why when you go to birthday parties here, usually there's like 3, 4 cakes at the birthday party. But no, I don't see. I have not seen like a Hallmark card anymore. I just don't think they would sell. That's why they don't have it. I didn't think the private hospital took PhilHealth. That's good to know that they take PhilHealth. Good. Oh yeah, they take PhilHealth. Because the private hospitals, they love you to be on PhilHealth, because like a lot of times what happens if you have a procedure, the procedure. Your PhilHealth covers like, let's say 30%. The 70% is PhilHealth will pay. So what the hospitals will do, they'll bill PhilHealth for the 70%. So if I'm a hospital, a private hospital, I already know I'm getting 70%. It's like it's an easy admission. It's an easy procedure to do, because because one of the issues here in the Philippines is like paying. It's like a lot of people, they get admitted to the hospital and they run out of money. They run out, they don't expect the long stay at the hospital, or, they come to the hospital and they have limit, a lot of people in the Philippines don't have medical insurance. So a lot of people pay cash, and, the cash gets depleted fast. If you're admitted to the hospital, spend, days in the hospital. So that's why, it's an advantage. I always recommend to people. I had PhilHealth, as a balikbayan, I'm a Filipino citizen, and I became a dual citizen. My PhilHealth was 4,800 a year. Less than $100 a year. Well worth it. But now I don't even have to pay it, because I'm now considered here in the Philippines because I had cancer. PWD, person with disability. So my PhilHealth is free now. I don't have to pay PhilHealth anymore. I keep my PhilHealth card. I still have PhilHealth, but I don't have to pay the annual dues anymore. Ray Danny, all right. When I went to the U.S., I was 5th grade in 1979. Oh, we came to the U.S. about the same time, Danny. I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing that. Jumping jacks was new to me. I was just standing there and watch a lot of the white people doing and that's funny. Man, I remember jumping jacks at my school in Letron because I remember when I went to Letron is an all boys Catholic school in Manila. I graduated elementary school there till grade 6. And I remember in Letran, the first thing, we had flag ceremony, and then allegiance to the flag of the Philippines. And then we had to do calisthenics. And one of that is like, I remember jumping jacks. I remember like that knee thing where you're like you're kind of like rolling with your knee, the hips thing, They made us do that before we started class every day. Calisthenics, to start, and then we were wearing uniforms, man. So sometimes you're not even on your first class and you're already sweating. But yeah, for me, when I went to high school, that was that was like, man, it's like I was nervous. I remember the first day of school because I didn't know what was going on. I got my paper, period 1, period 2, and then I had to figure out where room, what location it is in the school. Then I had to figure out my locker, that thing, that where you spin. Man, I had the hardest time. I've never done that in my life. I'm like, how does this thing open, But, I think I remember somebody helped me, showed me how to open it. I was like, man, it's like, there was a lot, It was a lot for a 13-year-old Filipino, coming, I was 12 when I graduated, when I left, but when I started school, I think I was 13. I was like, man, that was a lot, that was a lot to absorb, starting school. That was not an easy process for me. Even gym wasn't, because at gym you had you had your gym locker, and then you work out, you do your gym thing, and then you had to shower. We never had that in the Philippines. We never had a shower in the Philippines, man. Balikbayan guy, have a good weekend, my friend. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. I really appreciate you, my friend. God bless. Thank you. Talk again soon. All right. Online begging. All right. Well, I never beg, brother. That's why I don't even tell, because it's people like you that think I'm begging. I never ask for money. I never charge people for the help I give. I never tell people to like, subscribe. I never do that. So, but understand, there's always haters. It's part of YouTube. God bless you. Good luck to you, my friend. JP. All right, JP. All right. The Denzel crew. I got your email, JP. Replied back. It's like that would help me a lot, JP. If you come here and you're willing to help our channel, and then maybe a channel for yourself. I'll be willing to help you get that started. Teach you at least, show you how it works, how to Dazzle also. She does all the thumbnails on our videos. I don't even know how to make a thumbnail. And Dazzle takes care of the thumbnails. She edits videos, so we can show you that. We can teach you, if that's something like you mentioned you might be interested. But it is work, my brother. YouTube is not easy. People think it's just like you make a video and you'll make money, man. I just got a message from, I just messaged my friend Ayo John, I just encouraged him because he was getting frustrated because he's been at it for like 6 months and he's not getting any traction on his YouTube channel. But I reminded him, why he started YouTube. For me and Ayo John is the same. We started YouTube not to make money. I have a military pension, so I didn't need the money. A lot of things, the reason we started the channel, Dazzle and I just wanted to record what we were doing here in the Philippines. We were on vacation, things that we ate, Boracay Island, and now we can look back, paddle boarding. I can look back 3 years ago and all that's recorded. Dazzle and I still watch it sometimes. Say, oh, remember that? So that's how we started, and then the being monetized was, it wasn't even in my eyesight. I was like, man, it's so hard to get monetized in YouTube. People think it's easy. It's not easy. So, and when we got monetized, to me, it was just a blessing. And then, it just grew from there. I have personal connections with people, and most people on our channel that I communicate on WhatsApp, email, I consider them friends. And if they come here to the Philippines, I entertain them. I guide them through the process. I do my best to help people. So, and it's fun for me. I enjoy it. You know, it's like I enjoy meeting people. I'm a what is that? I'm an extrovert. You know, it's like as you can tell. You know, it's like that's what always tells me. You talk a lot, baby. You know? You know, and I do. You know, I talk a lot. I can talk. You know, even on the live stream. Here we are. We're like hour and a half. I'm still talking. You know, I don't run out of stuff. I don't run out of things to talk about. Southern Cal Benny, hey Southern Cal Benny, hello, hello, hi Ginno, hello from Palmdale, California. Oh, I know Palmdale, man. I know all about Palmdale. 90 degrees Fahrenheit. I was stationed at George Air Force Base, my first base in the military in Victorville, California. So I know all about Palmdale, the high desert of California, man. I know all about Palmdale now. Growing up in the Philippines, we were very happy to receive Hanes t-shirt. Oh yeah, dude, the white Hanes t-shirt. I remember that. For in the military, when I joined the military, the United States Air Force, I wore Hanes t-shirt. That was like we got issued Hanes t-shirt at basic training. So I wore Hanes t-shirt, the white t-shirt, for the longest time until they came out with like the Under Armour kind of brown, kind of military. You know, we start wearing that because it looked cooler, you know, cooler. But we were allowed to wear the white t-shirt for the longest time in the military. Of course, that's when Hanes were made in the USA. Yeah, man. But still, man, like here in the Philippines, I don't know where they make Hanes anymore because, you know, it's ingrained in the Filipinos. Oh, Hanes, you know, it's made in America, you know, coming from, I mean, like I said, a product can come from, balikbayan can come home here with products, and as long as it came from the United States, people here don't care if they're made from Vietnam, from Honduras, as long as they know that it got carried by the balikbayan in their suitcase coming from America. Like Ruben, you know, the hat that I've been wearing, that's a gift from Ruben. You know, the one that I carry, the one that's on the profile now of that's from Ruben, that hat. When I look, that's not me, you know, it came from America, but it was made somewhere else, you know, but I love it, you know, I wear it all the time. I like it because it's foldable, it's got a strap, I just flip it, you know, it hangs in my back, I don't have to worry about leaving it somewhere, like, you know, like the ball cap sometimes, you know, here in the Philippines, the ball caps, you actually have, when you enter like department stores here, you know, in Calibo, the Foos department store, if I'm wearing like a baseball cap, like a Dodger hat, they have to like check it in. I'm like, dude, you know, I have to remove my hat. They give me a number and they check it in. So when I'm in the store, I can't be wearing a ball cap, you know. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy Southern Cal Ben. All right, enjoy the weekend, my friend. Nice weekend for all. All right, all right. Have a nice weekend, everyone. All right, okay. JP, all right. I am trying to teach myself to hit like before I even comment. Thanks for the reminder. All right, JP. Does SNR have those buttercream frosted half sheet cakes? I'm pretty sure they have. JP. Anything that you can get at Costco in the United States, they replicate. The SNR replicates it. So the cake, like the muffins, the big gigantic muffins, chocolate chip muffins with the walnuts, upside down pineapple cake. So whatever you see at Costco in the U.S., they will have an SNR because that's the target. SNR's target audience are like people that's coming in from America, from Costco. Maybe I'm not sure if Canada has Costco. No, I've never been to Canada, but you know that's the target people. That SNR here is people coming from the U.S. So they want to provide you like what you're used to in the U.S. because they know, you know, if you're from the U.S., you could go SNR and you hadn't eaten that stuff for like a year or two, you're gonna be buying. You're gonna be like, it's like me when I go to SNR, man. I have to control myself in there and not buy everything because I'm like, ooh, I was like, you know, everything I see there is like, ooh, man, I want that, you know, I want that, you know. All right, I haven't seen you this in a while. Oh my God, Ginno, I haven't seen you. You haven't been on our channel in a long time. You haven't made a comment. I'm not, I'm sure probably seen some of our videos. That I haven't seen your name. Long time no see, but I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back, my friend. You look great, Ginno. I love your content. All right, thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. Okay, thank you, Tanya. I figure Canada, most of everything that's in the U.S. is also in Canada. Thank you, Tanya. I wasn't sure. I was like, I didn't want to say, that they had, maybe they have their own brand, maybe they have own brand. But thank you for that, Tanya. Now I know, now they know that America and Canada has a Costco. I'm also an Air Force vet, brother. All right, all right. I remember you. You used to comment a lot on our channel, so I would answer you. But I hadn't seen you in a while. That's why I was like, "Oh, you're back." I was like, I saw your name. You're back. Hey, Dan and Neen. Good morning. Good morning. I know you're in the Philippines now. I know you guys are in the Philippines in Laguna area, I think. So. Hope you're having a good time. I know it's kind of raining today. I know it's probably raining in Laguna, but I know you'll have a great time anyway in the Philippines because the sun comes out. It's not like right now. The rain has stopped and it's getting light. So I'm sure in a couple of hours here I'll be able to walk to the beach. I'm sure the sun will peek out. Dennis Garcia, peace and love, peace and love. All right, and pray. All right, thank you. Happy Denshi. All right, all right. All right, I got to. More comments. I thought I got to the bottom. I thought I got to the bottom already. I have to like scroll the comments here. Most hospitals like to hire Filipino nurses because they are hard workers. Yes, I know that is even in Arizona when I work. They love hiring Filipino nurses because they're and Filipino the guys too because they're dedicated. They're like hard worker. You can tell them anything, they'll do it. It's like they're happy to work. Don't complain. Yeah, don't complain. Never complain. It's almost like they're disciplined. They're almost like military. They just follow orders and do the work. And very good caregivers. Yes. Even my friends like Kip tells me he loves it when he goes to the VA and his nurse is a Filipina. He loves it because he knows that they're very caring. They're very caring nurses. Just saying, as a retired Kaiser permanente. Yeah. See, you've been around, Ray. Like me, man. It's like me and you. We got so much alike. It's like. I worked in the military hospitals for 20 years and then civilian hospitals for 7. So we've been around nurses. I've seen enough nurses. Oh, you're in Manila. You're in Manila today. And on our way to Cavite. Have safe travels in the Philippines, man. Dan and Neen, be careful. Be careful in the Philippines. Hi, Ginno. Happy weekend. Hey, good morning, Brian, TextFat. All right, my good friend from Galveston County in Texas. Good morning, good evening, my brother. Countries recruit medical workers overseas from the Philippines because their English is good. Yes. That's the one thing, and it gets better once they get, I know like the Filipino nurses, when they come to our hospital in Tucson, I remember when they first initially start, you can tell, they're like, they're talking that properly grammar English because they have to take that NCLEX, the English test to pass. But I could always tell like once they like reach like a year point or 2-year point, they're starting to talk the slang. They start when you see them in the hallway, when they first arrive as fresh nurses from the Philippines, they're all polite and proper, and then a year later, hey, what's up, bro? How you doing, brother? They start talking the slang. I remember, man, because it's like I think over when I worked at St. Mary's Hospital, I would say 75% of our nurses were Filipinos. We had a lot of Filipinos working for our network, our health network in Tucson. How is the vacation is going great, brother. It feels like a vacation because all Dazzle and I are doing, we don't have a schedule, man. We're just hitting the beach, meeting friends, new friends, people that wanted to meet us, having dinners, having lunches. I'm posting it on the Facebook. We did karaoke the other night. Dazzle had me singing karaoke. Just having a good time. And we still got like, I think we're on day 8 now, so we got 3 more weeks here in Boracay. We do have one night where we're gonna go to Rojas City. It's the Canadian Beavers 1-year anniversary of the Resto Bar, June 21st in Rojas City, and we just wanted to support our friends Michael and Kat. We just wanted to be there. At least hey, good luck. Buy food and maybe have one beer. For me, and then just support them. That they're good friends. And then we'll come back. We'll come back to Boracay. What we'll do when we're in Rojas, I think we're gonna leave Chloe. We have Chloe with us, our Shih Tzu. We're just gonna go ahead and take her home. I think on the 21st. And then when we go back to Boracay, it'll just be Dazzle and I. Ooh, what kind of coffee? All right. What kind of coffee do you drink in Boracay when you aren't at Real Coffee? All right, I'll show you, Denny. This is what I drink, man. I drink Copico Blanca, 3-in-1 coffee. So I just heat water in this Airbnb and just pour this thing. That is my coffee. I think it's like 7 pesos each or 8 pesos each for this little packet. That's what I drink when I'm not a Real Coffee. And there's a 7-Eleven, a walking distance, about a 10-minute walk up the hill here. They're open 24 hours, so I have my French vanilla brewed coffee there, 68 pesos. It's normally 57 where we live in Numancia, outside our subdivision, but here it's 11 pesos more. It's that island cost. It's like everything here in Boracay is at least 15 to 20% higher price. So, you get the beach. To me, it's well worth it. Well worth it. Southern California. I've heard of U.S. living abroad having their U.S. bank accounts closed. Okay, have you heard about it? What do you think is the workaround to this? I have heard people like that. I have a bank account in the United States. I've had the same bank. My pension goes to that bank since 2004. So it's never been closed. The workaround for me is I use a family member address. That's the workaround for me, for my address with the bank. So if the bank contacts the address, mails something to the address, my family member can take a picture of it and tell me, hey, the bank, but they've never sent anything to the mailing address. A lot of times I'll get an email. And one thing about, I think that, this is just my recommendation, because I don't bank with a regular bank. I bank with a credit union. And the credit union, just my experience, seem to be more lenient than a regular bank. Like I never get like that 2-thing text message, like authentication. If they have to authenticate any transaction I make, usually they'll send me an email. And I don't do a lot of transactions with the bank. So maybe that's why, I don't use an ATM with them. I cancel the ATM with them. I basically have a savings account and a checking account that I can check online with my credit union. And the only transaction I do with that bank is my military pension goes into that account. When I left Tucson in 2011, I got myself a box of checks. The old checks that you used to write checks. I don't know, people tell me they don't even use a lot of that anymore in the US, but I still have it. I haven't even gone through like half of the box, because all I do with the checks is I write a check here, $2,000 or $3,000, and I deposit it in my Philippine National Bank, a Philippine bank dollar account. I write a check, and the check takes 30 days to clear. And then the bank, Philippine National Bank here, charges me 250 pesos per check that I write to deposit to them. So that's about $4.50. And once the check clears, I can get the dollars from the bank. That's how I move big chunks of money here, because that's the most, a lot of those Remitly, a lot of Remitly, Wise, Zoom, they kill you on the exchange rate. Like for $3,000, if you like move that amount of money, like let's say the exchange rate is 55 right now, they'll only give you like 53 or 54. So for per $1,000, you have a good chance of losing like $30 easy. So if you move 3,000, you're losing $90. That's a lot of money here. That's a lot of groceries here in the Philippines. So I'm patient because and what I do, I just spread. I've moved money like that for years and years now. That's how I've been doing it. And here in the Philippines, I bank with Banco de Oro and then Philippine National Bank. I have a dollar account with both, and I also have a peso account, ATM account with both. I just do that here because you'll know that when you come here in the Philippines, a lot of times the ATMs don't work. So it's good to have two ATMs, different banks that you can use. And then sometimes there's not a PNB bank in a location, or there's not a Banco de Oro. So in Dazzle, she banks with Metro Bank. She has the same setup as me, a dollar account and then peso account. So we actually have three banks with three ATMs. So like here in Boracay, between Philippine National Bank, Banco de Oro, and Metro Bank, I think we can get our money, if we need to get money. My recommendation to people all the time is get as many ways that you can transfer money to the Philippines. Open yourself a Remitly account. Even if you don't plan on using it, open it while you're in the US. Because once you're here in the Philippines, I've heard people been able to open it, but I know it's harder. It's a lot easier if you get open like a Remitly, Wise account, and then a lot of military people highly recommend open Navy Federal Credit Union, because Navy Federal Credit Union, and you don't have to be the actual member of the military. You can be like a family member, a relative, and you can join the Navy Federal Credit Union. The plus thing with the Navy Federal Credit Union is you can buy a vehicle from a car dealership here in the Philippines, and the Navy Federal Credit Union can finance it. They can send you a check and pay the dealer, so you can buy a car here on credit. Because if you can buy a car on credit here in the Philippines using a bank in the US like Navy Federal, you're going to save a ton of money. Because the insurance, the interest rates here in the Philippines are astronomical. It's like you don't want to buy a new car here on the pay system, an interest system here in the Philippines. You're going to save a ton of money. Many military vets that I know buy their car here brand new using Navy Federal Credit Union. So maybe that's the workaround. Maybe check into a credit union. Maybe they're more lenient. I can't guarantee because I haven't been in the US for 14 years now. So, and then another suggestion, don't limit yourself to one bank in the US, because that's me. It's like, that's why we have several banks. Open several banks in the US. That way, if one bank gets closed, you still have another. You're not like, oh dang, they closed my account. It's like, but I have heard of that. I don't know how true it is, but I have heard people say their accounts have been. I know a friend of mine, he does Charles Schwab, and he's never had any problem. He's never had a problem of his Charles Schwab account closed. So I guess it's bank to bank. It just depends on the bank. Winging it, that's the best way, brother. Winging it, all right. Hey, man, I've always just been winging it, man. It's like I just go with the flow. It's like I think HD one time he mentioned to me, about in the Philippines, a lot of people don't plan, and I think that's just like the minute you stay here longer in the Philippines, you kind of live like by the island living, island style Filipino way of living. It's like I mentioned it on the other live stream. It's like the bahala na. Bahala na means like kind of like live and let live. It's like you can't control everything. I mean, you can do your best to plan for stuff, but a lot of times, stuff happens. Stuff happens. So I've just learned to like wing it. I learned to like go with the flow, no schedule. I've been here 14 years, so I've adapted the island life, island style of living. My new friends from Georgetown are leaving for Davao City, July. Wow, Davao City. I heard a lot of good things. I mean, I know a lot of foreigners, a lot of expats move to Davao City. I know that's a popular destination. Popular destination. Mustang, all right, my good friend David in Canada. Hey, good morning, mate. Me old mucker. I love hearing and watching your channel. Have a great weekend. Me old mucker. He taught me that. He taught me that. Me old mucker. It's like, that means a really good friend. Really good friend. That's what my, David is originally from England. That's why he's got, he's teaching me English, He's teaching me like the British way of speaking English. I love my chats with my good friend David. Me and him, we get a kick out of each other. We send videos to each other. I send him beach videos, Boracay videos, and then he sends me, like during the winter, he was sending me like frozen lake video and things like that. Now it's like, his yard is like immaculate, he's got like the most awesome looking yard, grass, neatly manicured, it's like, David, I know he's proud of that, his yard work, flowers, his wife, Emily was like planting flowers, got a flower bed, looks really nice, Me and him are always sharing stuff on WhatsApp. Paul, being U.S. military retired in a PI, do you still have to file income tax? Yes, I have filed an income tax every year since I've been here. I file it online. I use H&R Block Online. Because my military pension is taxable. I have to pay taxes on and now YouTube. YouTube is also taxable. So those are my two income in the Philippines. I have my military pension from the United States Air Force, and then I also have the YouTube income now. So I have to report that. I file taxes every single year. I think that's, there's a saying, death and taxes, those are the only the things that are guaranteed. Death and taxes, guaranteed. You gotta pay it. Hey, Paul. Thank you so much for the super chat, super thanks. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it, my friend. Coffee. Oh, thank you. Hey, man. That's like, I can get a coffee. I can get my French vanilla coffee later on, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, my friend. We have USAA. They're great. All right, there you go. That's USAA. I know my friend in Hawaii. He's retired military also. He goes with USAA. My good friend that lives in Hawaii. I think Navy Fed and USA don't charge ATM fees. All right, hey, that's another good thing, man. That's another good thing that they don't charge you ATM fees. So they're great for traveling abroad. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Danine. My friend Dan and my friend Nin. Danine Live. All right. Thank you. And that's what I like, that I learn from people. Like the comment from Tanya earlier, they have a Costco in Canada. That's why I like doing the live stream, because I'm also learning from you, because the information you share with me. Because there's no way I can keep track of all the updates, all the, like people closing their bank, banks closing their bank. I don't know that. I'm not in the US anymore. So you're helping our channel. You're helping me, all I'm doing is passing information that I get from people, like the topic on Medicare Portability bill. My friend Jimbo, retired Chief Master Sergeant in the United States Air Force. He's the one that shared it to me. I would have never heard of it if he didn't share it with me. And that's what I like. That's why I encourage people. It's like let's all help each other. Let's all too much negativity in the world already. You know, if you can do anything positive for people, you know, why not? You know, it's like to me, it's a blessing when we can all help each other. I've been winging it for years. You've been winging it, man. Hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with winging it, man. We just got it. Hey, I know, brother. You know, hey, you know, it's like I said, man. You know, it's good to plan. You know, you know, I plan all. You know, my move here was well planned. I did my recon a year before. I had all my notes. I had all my plan, like budget. I had I had spreadsheets in my computer, my pension, my expenses when I landed in the Philippines. I had it all mapped out. But a lot of times, you know, it's good to plan. I knew medical care that was available to me here in Panay Island, but you know, stuff happens. You know, stuff happens once you get here. You know, you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to adapt. No matter how much you plan, you know, when you get there, there's gonna be stuff that you're gonna go like, whoa, I didn't see that coming, you know. But you know, stuff like that, you know, it's like once you live the island life, you know, the island style of living, the mañana, you know, laid back, later, you know, attitude. You're gonna have a good life here in the Philippines. I know Brian, you know, me and him are so alike. We're like kindred spirits. I know he's gonna have a great time. We're gonna go to that crab festival, Brian, once you get here. That's the first stop. We're gonna hit that crab festival where you can eat all the crab that you can eat, man. Amen, brother. Serving others is our greatest purpose. Thank you, right? You know, for me, you know, that's the words I live by. It's like, do good and be good. That's all, you know. That's what I'm trying to do now to live the rest of my life. If I can do those two things, you know, I'll be happy. I know, you know, it's like, we make plans and God laughs. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know. Right? Yes, right. All right. That's funny. Matthew, I do like to come there, but my biggest thing is the right doctors there for me. Hey, yeah, understand, man. You know, medical concern. You know, medical. You know, me having the medical background. I don't. You know, for me, just my experience, my opinion. Anywhere you go in the world, you could be in the United States, you could be in Canada, you could be in Philippines, you could be in Thailand. It's important to have that personal connection with your physician, with your doctor, getting your primary healthcare provider. You know, that's important. You know, because like for me, you know, it's like when I went through my cancer treatments. You know, I got to know my oncologist, Dr. Palik, and me and him are become friends. You know, I trusted him with my life. You know, basically, you know, he's the one ordering the chemo treatments and the radiation treatments. So I'm like, you know, I'm putting my hands and, you know, my life in his hands. So, you know, I understand, you know, but I always tell people, man, you know, I know, you know, people say, you know, why a third world country? The Philippines, I don't even consider third world. You know, I consider Philippines a developing country. I mean, infrastructures are being built here. Even the province here in Aklan, our province, we got Asia Pacific Medical Center now. Some of the state-of-the-art equipment. We have like MRIs. We got, you know, it's not like, you know, unless you pick something here in the Philippines that's out in the boonies, you know, it'd be the same thing like I was mentioned earlier. If you're in the United States and you select somewhere in the Appalachian Mountains, you know, if you say, you know, if you choose to retire there, nothing wrong with like retiring there, but you know, you want to, if you're like, if you have medical conditions, you want to be close to like good medical care. I had grave disease. They got doctors there, but I need to learn how it is. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know much about grave disease. And with our channel, I'm always like, I'm honest with people. Like, I've had a couple of subscribers that left the channel that I never hear from again. When I tell them, hey, I just don't think it's a good idea for you to move here because of medical conditions, you know. Because if I think you're going to get better medical care in the United States for what you got, I would tell you. You know, I would tell you. I think you're better off where you are. You're better off where you have Medicare. You're better off. You know, don't come to the Philippines, if you don't have medical insurance and you have diseases that needs extensive medical care. It can get expensive, even if you have money, it can get expensive. So I'll have to do research. I'll have to do research on a grave disease. I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar with that. If you want to, on the description box of all our videos, my contact information is there. You can contact me, email, WhatsApp, or Messenger. Send me an email and I'll research for you what's available here as far as grave disease. Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% positive. Whatever illness you have, if you go to if you live close to Manila, like I said, at St. Luke's Hospital in BGC or Makati Medical Center, those are two top hospitals in all of Asia. So I know you're gonna get good medical care there. But again, I don't know your insurance situation, because they're top-notch hospitals, but they ain't cheap, So if you go to those top-notch hospitals here, it's the same thing in the U.S. It's like, people that don't have insurance, you're not gonna get good medical care. It's like the people that get good medical care are the ones that have insurance. That's why that Medicare Portability bill is so important, I think, that they approved that, so people on Medicare here in the Philippines can get medical care. JP, I have my budget for Aklan province with a 1 and 2 bedroom apartment and asked ChatGPT to make the same budget. It almost matched my budget, but was about 10% lower. Oh, cool, man. I didn't know ChatGPT. I mean, I just haven't had time. My friend Joel from Arizona had mentioned to me about ChatGPT. He even, he's like, it can help you even make topics for videos and stuff. But I just don't have a lot of time to mess with ChatGPT. I should, to improve the content. And I'll try. But our channel just keeps me busy now, JP. Between doing a live stream, making a video, and then answering people, I'm pretty busy. Even here in Boracay, Dazzle and I were pretty busy because we're meeting up with a lot of people. People are taking us out. It's like, and we enjoy that. We enjoy that. That's why part of the reason why we came to Boracay anyway. I like Corty, but like to be easy to doctors just in case. All right, Matthew, it took me 11 years to see doctors here, all right, here in the U.S. That's all I need, right? It's different. You have to pay their out-of-pocket. Okay, so you can USA the insurance there. There are insurance in the U.S. that you can use here. Like I know my friend Brian, he came from Houston, Texas. He's able to use his Blue Cross Blue Shield. But it's specific to the insurance. I know Blue Cross Blue Shield is accepted here, certain hospitals, not all hospitals. That's why you have to do your research. That's why I say, it's not. But insurance is definitely important if you come here. The out-of-pocket, like many retirees here, they do out-of-pocket. It's affordable out-of-pocket, but depending on what procedure or what illness. That's why I said we can do like a more personal. You can contact me offline. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end the live stream here. I've been going for 2 hours now. Thank you so much for joining the live stream this morning. I appreciate everybody's time. I hope everyone has a good day. Daniel, to get people to hate you, all you have to do is tell them the truth. Yeah, well, hate is a strong word, man. I don't like to use the word hate. It's don't like. The way people don't like. Have fun. All right, Brian. Thank you, my brother. I know Dazzle's still sleeping anyway, so I might walk to the beach even in the rain. I'll wear my raincoat and I'll bring my umbrella. All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you, JP. All right. Thank you, JP, for joining the live stream. Take care, everyone. I will. Dan and Neen, I will tell Dazzle that you said hello when she gets up. Take care. Take care, everyone.